Okay, bro, there is literally no way this is actually happening. But at the same time, knowing this has happened to me is honestly really sad. But if you haven't already, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because it seriously means a lot. And also, if you guys do enjoy the story so much, make sure you guys join me live on Kick. I'll be streaming on there, and also I'll be doing a lot of crazy stuff with me and my friends. So make sure you guys go on there as well if you want to hear stories basically live in front of you guys on kick.com/Bubba. Other than that, let's get straight into this crazy story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba, and welcome back to another, well, honestly, kind of depressing story. Now, I have nothing against OnlyFans girls. I get it. OnlyFans is a big thing that many girls are getting into. Like, I'm not gonna lie. If I was a girl, I'd maybe get into it. I don't know. It really would depend on my morals and who I really want to be. But I guess the easy way out nowadays in this generation for people, or especially girls, to make money is OnlyFans. And I'm not gonna lie. I knew about OnlyFans, and I remember after I graduated high school, a lot of girls in my school that I graduated with have an OnlyFans. Actually, one of them I think is hanging out with Young Gravy nowadays. Like, honestly, it's actually mind-blowing. But I remember back when I was in high school, a lot of girls that were in my school all really didn't like the idea of OnlyFans. Like, it got to the point where they were so against it, they made a trait and a promise to themselves that they would never start one. And they would also make jokes about if they started one, how silly it would be. Like, for example, they would say things like, oh, like, if I started one, like, I don't think my body's worth $13.99. Oh my goodness, literally, like, who would sell themselves like that? I might as well be a prostitute. They would say crazy things like that, and honestly, it made me think that, you know, maybe a lot of people weren't gonna get into it. But it wasn't until after high school where things really, well, flipped. I remember it was my second year of being out of high school, and I was turning 20. And I had a lot of friends that I still kind of hung out with in high school, well, somewhat, I would say. Around this time, I was so focused on making videos and stories that I didn't really focus on, well, people IRL. But basically, I remember one time, though, I was on Instagram, and my Instagram started, you know, gaining followers because of these crazy stories I would post. And actually, funny enough, if you guys haven't followed my Instagram already, I highly advise you guys go do it because a lot of updates go on there. But sorry, going on like I was saying though, I remember basically what ended up happening was I ended up getting a new follower on Instagram, except it wasn't no ordinary follower. Not that any of you guys are ordinary followers, but this certain person that followed me was honestly insane, because this was literally one of the hottest girls in our high school that always, and I mean always, made fun of OnlyFans. Like, she would always, like, despite them, make fun of them, and basically said that if you're an OnlyFans person, you were literally worth nothing. So me, I remember I ended up going on her Instagram page, and everything seemed normal. There wasn't any, you know, crazy bikini photos. There wasn't anything over the top. It seemed very, well, simple. So I remember what ended up happening was I ended up basically, you know, going into her DMs, you know, Bubba sliding into the DMs like usual. And I said, hey, when I messaged her, I remember she was actually in shock. She was actually amazed that, you know, a celebrity, I'm putting that in quotations because I don't think I'm a celebrity in any way, but basically she was amazed that I reached out to her and basically said hey to her, which, I mean, fair enough. You know, if, you know, like, what kind of person wouldn't DM the hottest girl in their high school? Oh, wait, literally everyone would. I don't know why she was so surprised about me DMing her, but basically when I said hey, she ended up messaging me back saying, oh my goodness, like, Bubba, like, how are you doing? Do you remember me from high school? Yeah, I remember you. Of course I remember you. She was the hottest girl in our high school, but I wasn't gonna tell her that. And then I remember she ended up telling me, oh, like, here, like, add my number. And then she ended up literally instantly sending me her number, and me and her started FaceTiming each other. We were FaceTiming left and right, day after day, to the point where, I'm not gonna lie, I actually started falling for this girl. She was actually kind of amazing, and knowing she was the hottest girl in my high school, it was kind of a flex to be talking to her. Because remember, back in high school, yes, I did a lot of the Devil's Tango, but I would never actually, you know, how do I put this? Be managing to pull the hottest girls in our high school. And by the way, if my voice sounds in any way really raspy, I just want to say that I'm losing my voice from yelling all the time on stream on Kick, so please excuse it. But anyways, going on with the story, I remember me and her, we started, like, you know, communicating a lot more than I expected. And it got to the point where actually me and her, we actually went out on a couple dates. But every time we'd go out on a date, I remember every time I asked her, like, what she did for work, she would never really give me a straight answer. She would always say things like, oh, like, I kind of just make content. Oh, you know, I, like, model, I guess. And she always sounded really vague about what she was actually doing with her career. So then I remember I asked her, oh, like, are you, like, taking a, you know, nursing course? Because I remember back in high school, she would always talk about being a nurse, or at least that's what her parents wanted her to be, I guess. But basically she ended up telling me afterwards, oh, like, no, I'm like doing my own, like, kind of like self-employed kind of thing. At this point, I was confused. I didn't know what she was doing, nor was she ever explaining. And before anyone says anything, no, I did not know she had an OnlyFans at this time, because to be honest, she would really keep it vague with me. And also every time I would ask her about, like, you know, work, she would never give me a straight answer, like I said earlier. So for me, like, every time I would go see her, hang out with her, she would always just be packing a load of money. And no, also, I'm gonna mention this as well, none of her OnlyFans links or nothing like that was ever posted on her Instagram. So me being the dumb guy I kind of just ignored it. And I want to say, like, later in the month, me and her, we were actually debating on getting together. But later in the month, I remember one time, me and her, I decided to take her to like my friend group and basically all my IRL friends. And I remember me and them, we all like hung out together at a house party that we all went to. And when we went there, I remember when I brought this girl with me, everyone, and I mean everyone at the party was looking. I had no idea why, and don't get me wrong, she was the most hottest girl there, but still, I had no idea why everyone was just staring her down. Until I remember halfway through the party, we were all drinking and stuff, and my buddy said, yo, like, Bubba, can you come over here real quick? I ended up walking up to him saying, yeah, like, what's going on, dude? Me being kind of tipsy. And then he ended up saying, yo, bro, I just gotta ask, how'd you pull her? I remember I looked at him and I'm like, you mean my girl? What do you mean? Like, how did I pull her? And then he ended up saying, oh, like, do you like usually work with like OnlyFans girls? Wait, what is what I said? At that point, I was confused. I thought he was probably trolling me. And also, like I said, I was a little tipsy. So I was hoping this was all like a joke or something. But then afterwards, I remember it was super awkward because he ended up saying afterwards, nah, dude, like, you know who that girl is, right? Like, bro, like, you're literally dating like the girl. And then he ended up saying a stage name that I'm not gonna say because I don't want to give her clout in any way, but he ended up saying a stage name that was really, well, sparkly. I'll say that much. I remember I was super confused and just like kind of curious of what he was talking about until he ended up pulling up Reddit, and well, let's just say every piece of that girl's body was on Reddit. Now at this point, I'm like, holy cow. And the weirdest part was that as me and her were talking, there was a lot of videos posted from that like time when me and her started talking, right? And all of them were like, you know, BBC, all this stuff that was, well, let's just say a lot of the Devil's Tango. And like, don't get me wrong, I do a lot of the Devil's Tango, but seeing a girl get ran through like Mia Khalifa was just mind-boggling to me. So I remember after seeing that and me also being a little tipsy, I was really grossed out. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of like ashamed of myself. I wish I knew. I wish I didn't put it aside from my brain and just actually focused on the situation when I had the chance to ask her. So me being the tipsy guy I ended up walking up to her middle of the party saying, you have an OnlyFans. She looked at me and she's like, okay, wait, who told you? And then that's when like 3 other guys ended up clapping and basically laughing because they all knew it was true. And it got to the point where everyone just started pulling up her photos at the party and she ended up running out of there embarrassed. I remember I felt bad, so I remember I went out of the party and actually left and basically just decided to sit beside her and talk to her. I told her, hey, listen, I get it, you know, I really like you as a person, but me personally, I could never date an OnlyFans girl. And then she asked me why and stuff, and I said, well, because I personally don't want my girls valued by a number. She kind of took it to heart, but at the same time, she understood because back in high school, she even mentioned herself the same exact things. But hey, what can I say? I guess people change for, I guess, the better, the worst. I don't know. At the end of the day, content is content. A job's a job. I don't know. I guess for everyone, it's different. But anyways, guys, that's basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also join me live on Kick streaming right now. Anyways, like I always say, fall for more embarrassing stories. Peace out, guys.